Good morning, dear students. I am Esprit Goswami, your SS teacher. Today we are going to start our SS class with History chapter 2, the regional kingdoms of 8th century. We already talked about the medieval world in the last chapter, which I will start from 8th century. It's also a part of medieval world because here also we talked about 8th century. In 8th century, which kingdoms are there, which rulers came to exist, like that. Now we are going to start our chapter with India's political condition. In India's many part north, south, Deccan, and many other parts which ruler came to rule there. At first we start with North India. In North India, many powerful rulers are there for rule. First, the Rajputs, the Ghazanvids, the Ghurids, the Palas, and the Gurjar Pratyaras. All they belong to North India. They ruled in north part of our country. After that, now we talk about Deccan. Then in Deccan part, the Rashtrakutas and the other kingdoms came to exist and ruled at that place. After that, south. Then in south, many powerful rulers like the Pallavas, the Pandyas, and the Cholas came to rule on that place. Now we will start our chapter with part of north of our country, was North India. In North India, which is rulers came to exist. Already we discussed the Rajputs, the Ghazanvids, the Ghurids, the Palas, and the Gurjar Pratyaras. Now we are going to start with the Rajputs. The Rajputs, if we talk about Rajput, then the word Rajput has been taken from the Sanskrit word Rajputra. Rajputra meaning the son of the king. Rajputra means Raja's Putra, means the son of the king. They claim that many Rajputs rulers claim that they were Suryavanshi. Many claim that they Chandravanshi. Suryavanshi means they belong to sun's family. Many others claim that they are Chandravanshi, means they belong to moon's family. It's all about Rajputs. Now we will talk about the Ghazanvids. Dear students, now we will discuss about the Gahadwals of Kannauj. The region around Kannauj. Why it mentioned as Gahadwal of Kannauj? Because of this reason, Kannauj. The region around the Kannauj was ruled by Gahadwal rulers, and the Gahadwal king Jayachandra was defeated by Muhammad Ghori in the battle. After that, Chandelas of Bundelkhand. The Chandelas ruled over land between the Yamuna and the Narmada rivers. Mainly, Chandelas are most famous because of their capital. The capital is Khajuraho, and Khajuraho has many beautiful temples are there. And Kirtivarman was the most powerful ruler of this dynasty, and the place of rule that is between Yamuna and Narmada river. After that, Ghazanvids. In the 10th century, a Turkish conqueror captured Ghazni. When? In 10th century. Who conquered? A Turkish conqueror captured Ghazni, now in Afghanistan. Now this place is in Afghanistan, and founded the Ghazanvid dynasty. If anyone asks you about Ghazanvid dynasty, how he found Ghazanvid dynasty, then you can easily say that in the 10th century, a Turkish conqueror captured Ghazni, now in Afghanistan, and founded the Ghazanvid dynasty. Sultan Mahmud was the powerful ruler of this dynasty. Who was the powerful ruler of this dynasty, Ghazanvids? Then Sultan Mahmud. It's about Gahadwals, Chandelas, Ghazanvids. Once again, I remind you, Gahadwals of Kannauj, the region around the Kannauj was ruled by Gahadwal rulers. If we talk about Chandelas of Bundelkhand, then the Chandelas ruled between the Yamuna and Narmada rivers, and this kingdom is famous. Chandelas of Bundelkhand is mostly famous for its capital because of Khajuraho, and Khajuraho has many beautiful temples also there. Because of that, it's too much famous, and it has a powerful ruler like Kirtivarman is also there in this dynasty. After that, now we'll talk about Ghaznavid. In the 10th century, Turkish conquered, captured Ghaznavid, now in Afghanistan, and founded Ghaznavid dynasty. Sultan Mahmud was the powerful ruler of this dynasty. Now we will talk about Muhammad Ghori. Dear students, now we will talk about Mahmud of Ghazni, a most important ruler of that time because he read many Indian Hindu temples, and after that taking wealth from that place and start to use for making mosques, beautiful buildings, and many much more things as like museum, library. So we start with Mahmud of Ghazni. Mahmud needed large army to make Ghazni the powerful kingdom. On that time, Ghazni kingdom didn't have a large army, so because of making powerful kingdom, so he needed a large army for that thing in the region. So he decided to raid India to collect money to raise large army because he wanted a large army, and without money, without wealth, it's not be possible to making a large army for that reason. So he started to raid India and start to collect money for making large army. Mahmud of Ghazni attacked India 17 times. Mahmud Ghazni was the only ruler who attacked on India on 17 times. How many times? 17 times between the time period of 1080 to 1026 AD. He defeated Anandpal and Jaipal, two more important rulers. The powerful rulers were also there. Anandpal and Jaipal, they were also defeated by Mahmud of Ghazni. He also attacked the rich temple towns of India. On that time, many temple towns are there in India. That also raided by Mahmud of Ghazni. He started to attack on that because of raiding, burgling of money and wealth. The Somnath temple of Gujarat stripped of its all wealth. Once a time he started to raid on Somnath temple, Kannauj, Mathura, many temples raided by him, and that important raiding by him is about the Somnath temple. The Somnath temple of Gujarat stripped of its all wealth. Nothing is remain on that time. He completely destroyed that temple. Till now you also can watch in history times textbook. If you watch, then you can understand which type of damages made by him on the temple. Mahmud carried all the wealth to Ghazni. Mahmud started to collect all the wealth whichever collected by robbing or attacking on temples, and start to take the wealth to Ghazni. And after that he take that wealth to Ghazni and start to make their mosques, beautiful buildings, library and museums. And at last he died in 1030. Once again I remind you, Mahmud of Ghazni was an important ruler of medieval period. Because of that he raided on many Hindu temples. Mahmud needed large army to make Ghazni the powerful kingdom, because he wants a powerful kingdom, and for that he need a large army, and he didn't have large army, and for making large army he need of wealth and money. So he started to raid on Hindu temple towns, and he attacked the 17 times between 1000 to 1026 AD, and most important raid by him was about Kannauj, Mathura and Somnath. In Somnath temple when he raided, then he attacked on the temple and destroyed completely temple, and after that take all the wealth and started to take to Ghazni and started to make their mosque, beautiful monuments, library and museums. And finally he died in 1030. Now we will talk about Muhammad Ghori or the Ghori kingdom. The Ghori was another small kingdom now present in Afghanistan. It is also present in Afghanistan. Before that, it already talked about Ghaznavid, that also in now Afghanistan, and it is also now present in Afghanistan. After Mahmud's death, After Mahmud's death, the Ghaznavids became big because Mahmud was the most important and powerful ruler of Ghaznavid dynasty. After his death, his empire, his kingdom is going to weak. Taking advantage of this, after his death, taking advantage of this, Muziuddin Muhammad made Gaur independent once again. He annexed all Ghaznavid's territory because already Mahmud was dead on that time. So Muziuddin Muhammad started to annex all the Ghaznavid rules, place, territories. He popularly known as Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Gaur or Muzahiddin Muhammad is popular as Muhammad Ghori. Anyone know why Ghori is here? Because of the Gaur dynasty, because of the Gaur kingdom, he is known as the Muhammad of Ghori. So his name is like that, Muhammad Ghori. Now we will talk about Muhammad Ghori. Everyone know that he was a powerful ruler of that time. He decided to attack on India not only for the wealth but also for establishing his empire. He wanted to establishing his empire all over the India, and for that he decided to annex the conquered Punjab, Gujarat and many places of India, and he started to taking battles and something like that. So he decided to attack on India not only for wealth but also for establishing his empire. Many Rajput rulers faced him, like Prithviraj Chauhan. Many another Rajput rulers of Delhi, Punjab and Gujarat faced him for that thing. That's all about Muhammad Ghori. Thank you dear students. In next class we will talk about another topic. Thank you.